Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for the opportunity to present today. I'd like to thank York University, Innovation York, and especially Cheryl, who's put in a lot of hard work to make excuse me, today's presentation possible, today's event. So, as I said, as Cheryl mentioned, I'm Balinder Ray, Business Development Manager from the Ontario Centres of Excellence. And maybe before I start my presentation, I just maybe like to canvass the audience to find out who's heard of the Ontario Centres of Excellence. Okay, so that's good. More than half the room. That's great. And I'd also like to take this opportunity to introduce two of my business development colleagues from OCE at the back of the room, Brad Brinton and Pierre Perulakar. Great. So you have three OCE business development managers to connect with today. So that's great for connections. A little bit about OCE, just as background, excuse me, to my slides around some of our programs that I'm going to be talking about this morning. We've been around for almost 30 years. We're funded by the Ministry of Research and Innovation in Ontario, so we're very much an Ontario-based, Ontario-centric program. We work with Ontario-based companies and researchers in every university and college and research hospital in the province. So we have quite a geography that we cover from north to south, east to west in Ontario. And essentially the mandate of OCE is really to help drive economic impact in Ontario. And how we enable that is by helping companies, whether you're a startup, a small, medium-sized company, or even a large company, looking to innovate, looking to develop new products, processes or services, and innovative technology that is going to really help enhance your competitive advantage and help you as a company grow. We can help support that through our programs and also through the connections and the facilitation that we can provide at OCE. And I'm going to talk about three of our programs that are very much focused on industry and academic R&D collaboration. So when companies are looking for a particular academic partner, it's quite often, as was presented earlier this morning through the examples that Adam and Puya and Sunny provide in terms of an excellent example of an industry and academic partnership that came together. And what Cheryl presented earlier as well is how York enables that and helps companies connect to those important research resources. Really, it's about what is that technical gap that you need to address? What is the specific opportunity as a company or as an industry that you have that needs to be addressed, which is really going to help you take that next step in commercializing a technology and getting your product out to the marketplace and helping you become successful as a company. That economic impact will be measured in terms of revenue generation for your company, job creation, and increase in market share, and perhaps even entering new markets. So ideally, a success story would allow the company to develop a technology or solution that can be globally exportable as well, so beyond Ontario in terms of economic impact. So we assist industry with applied research right through to commercialization, and we have a suite of programs that help do that. So I'm going to talk about three of our industry and academic R&D collaborative programs. The first one is called the Voucher for Innovation and Productivity, or VIP for short. To give you a sense of the funding cycle for most of our programs, it's typically April 1st to March 31st. The VIP program is a $20,000 funding program for OCE, and the projects typically last anywhere from 6 to 12 months. So quite often it's a technical challenge that the company is looking to address in fairly short order to ultimately lead to the commercialization of that new product or process or productivity improvements. In terms of sectors, just to mention sort of off the top, is that we're sector agnostic at OCE. A lot of our programs are funding opportunities in the sort of science and technology areas, but we work across all disciplines. Really the focus is on the innovation around the opportunity, the technology that will be developed, and the economic benefit ultimately that will accrue to the company at the end of the day. So the company has to be an industry partner that is based in Ontario, for profit, that's going to actually take the results from that collaboration and commercialize them. So we're really looking again for that ROI to come back into Ontario. The Voucher for Innovation and Productivity, the $20,000 program, it's a matching program, minimum one-to-one industry match. So for $20,000 of OCE funding, the company would be required to provide 25% cash and 75% in kind. And really, you're actually building a $40,000 project. From an engagement standpoint, as I mentioned, business development managers at OCE, we engage with companies and directly and with researchers. So all of us are working closely with an academic institution in the province. We engage with companies through a number of ways, whether it's at events like this, industry association events, conferences, and just even through our online portal. So companies hear about OCE, they may want to connect and find out if they're eligible for programming, or they want to connect to a researcher. Another excellent way that we engage with companies is directly through the universities. So to give you an example, I work very closely with Cheryl here at York. I'm based actually at the Markham Convergence Center, which is just a few minutes away from here, and Innovation York has an office there. So on a weekly basis, Cheryl and I are discussing opportunities, companies where researchers can connect to some of those companies and look at how we can actually help leverage the ecosystem around innovation to help the companies put together a strong partnership with an academic partner. The VIP program is a continuous intake, so most of our programs are continuously receiving applications. It's an online application with OCE programs through our MIS system. Essentially with an application for an industry and academic project, the professor is typically the lead on the application, but we expect that there would be very close engagement with the company, obviously, because they're looking to work to develop a very strong proposal to OCE. So it's a fairly straightforward process. As I said, it's online, and the average time for approval is about 4 to 6 weeks. Maybe I'll just mention IP. OCE doesn't look for any ownership of IP coming out of the industry and academic collaboration programs that I'm mentioning. Essentially, it is an agreement between the university and the company. And the research funding is eligible for SHRED credits. The success rate of the VIP is approximately 80%. It's quite high. And the full details around the program are available on the web link that's included in the presentation material that Cheryl mentioned would be made available later. One interesting note about the VIP is that OCE, we engage with other funding program partners, federal partners in this case with NSERC and with IRAP, and I see Angelo Del Duca is here from IRAP, and we'll be discussing that partnership as well as the BDC. So this is the first of the Voucher for Innovation and Productivity programs that OCE offers. The second one is a little larger. We call it the VIP2. So this is a minimum $50,000 to $75,000 per year program, and typically it's a 1 to 2 year program. So it's a minimum of $50,000 per year, maximum of $75,000 per year. Total OCE funding potential of $150,000 over 2 years. And these projects or these proposals that come forward to OCE in the VIP2 program are typically more scientific research related, more in-depth research, I should say, with significant commercialization potential and impact to the company at the end of the day. So it's the investment that the company would make and the investment that OCE would make is commensurate with the ROI that it ultimately would result from this type of collaboration. So in terms of scope, it's applied R&D, again, leading to the development and commercialization of those new technologies. Eligibility, again, it's an Ontario-based company, and the matching requirements here are a 50% cash match and 50% in-kind contribution from the company, along with OCE funding. So you're building a pretty sizable project, in this case with a VIP2. There is continuous intake for this program as well, and we evaluate these every 2 months. Larger programs, larger projects, again, online process. And the success rate is approximately 80%, and it takes about 2 months for the full process to happen with a VIP2. With the VIP2, it is a 2-stage process. There's an external review of proposals. Actually, with all of OCE programs, proposals are sent out and reviewed by our College of Reviewers, so 3 reviewers for every proposal that comes into OCE. And in the case of the VIP2 program, there is also a presentation to an external panel if the proposal is approved to move forward. And the third program I'll mention is our Talent Edge program, which is focused on internships and fellowships. And with all of OCE's industry and academic collaboration programs, HQP, highly qualified personnel, that talent pool that resides in academia, students working alongside with the professors on that collaborative opportunity with that industry partner, really designed to allow for that experiential learning to take place for the students, whether they're an undergraduate, bachelor's, all the way through to master's, PhD, and postdocs, to really benefit from that engagement, really understanding what are the challenges that that company has, how can they make a significant contribution by leveraging the knowledge and expertise they have in the academic setting, and how can they make a significant impact ultimately at the end of the day on the company's technology development. And from the company side, they're, as I said, they're benefiting from that knowledge that's coming out of the academic arena. So the Talent Edge program, it has two streams. There's an internship stream and a fellowship stream. The internship is $10,000 of OCE funding for 4 months. So in this case, an intern could be someone who's in their final year undergraduate at a university or college in a STEM or non-STEM discipline. These are very much focused on project or the scope of the project. So they're all project-based. There has to be an R&D component to the internship or to the fellowship. And for the internship, as I said, it's bachelor's, final year undergraduate, master's student, or a recent master's graduate within the last 3 years. And that's $10,000 from OCE for 4 months. So each unit is a 4-month unit, and you can have multiple units. The fellowship component of Talent Edge is $32,500 from OCE, and plus $2,500 for professional development. And the fellowship is engaging PhD graduates or postdoctoral fellows, and it's a minimum one-year project. In terms of the company matching contribution for the internship, it's $5,000 in cash and $5,000 in kind. So it's a one-to-one match there. With the fellowship, the total value from OCE is $35,000. The company would put in $25,000 cash and $25,000 in kind. The funding is again designed to support the intern or the fellow on the project. So typically it's all for salaries. Now the intern or fellow could be based at the academic institution, so working here at York under the supervision of a professor who's the prime liaison with the company contact. Or they could be based directly at the company. So it really depends on what the company's needs are and what resources they have in-house to support that company-based intern or fellow. And when they're working at the academic institution, the companies also have the benefit, obviously, of working with the resources that the university can provide. So labs, specialized equipment. Cheryl mentioned the MRI machine earlier. So really it's designed as a program to really provide experiential learning to the intern or to the fellow, and for the company to really leverage that knowledge base in a particular project. And at the end of the day, a successful outcome from an internship or a fellowship is really that the company is able to take the results of that project, that R&D project, and operationalize them at the end of the day and really help move their technology development forward and help them grow and scale as a company. In terms of criteria, I've already mentioned the internship criteria. I should also mention that we have a partnership with Auto 21, so there is an automotive practicum program component. So this is for, these internships are for research projects that are very much related to the automotive sector. And for the fellowship, just to mention that the graduate or the postdoctoral fellow would have completed their program within the last 5 years. And again, this is a continuous intake program, and the turnaround time is, again, 4 to 6 weeks, and a pretty high success rate, about 75%. And as I mentioned, single or multiple internships are also possible. So that's a brief overview of 3 of our core industry and academic R&D collaboration programs. And I would like to say that we've had a very long-standing and very successful relationship with York University. We've worked on dozens and dozens of projects together over the years, very successful projects, and across all